6%. That's how fast Indonesia wants its economy to grow next year, higher than the World Bank's forecast 5.2% and the International Monetary Fund's projected 5.1%. So what would it take for the Indonesian government to meet its target?
To have the GDP accelerate from 5% to 6%. So I think it requires a few things, right? One would be the resiliency in consumption, stable commodities prices, and more importantly, how to basically improve investments, both from the domestic standpoint and also from FDI. So in order to achieve that, definitely we need to see improved investor sentiment, along with a few reforms, and to basically improve the policy certainty, which I think could basically help to drive faster growth in 2027.
Jakarta wants faster growth while bringing its fiscal deficit down to 2.4% of GDP, targeted at about $38 billion. A deficit here means the government is spending more than it collects, and it has to finance a shortfall largely by borrowing. So a smaller deficit means less new borrowing is needed to cover that gap. The challenge is doing it without holding back the economy. So how does it make the numbers work? Well, part of the answer is revenue. Government income is expected to jump 8.6% to around $196 billion. That's faster than spending, which is set to rise 6.6% from this year's budget to around $234 billion. So Jakarta is counting on stronger revenue growth while keeping spending more contained. Macquarie Capital says that requires more effective tax collection, resilient commodity prices, and more targeted spending. And some of those spending plans come with big targets. Healthcare spending is set to rise 1.7% next year to 245 trillion rupiah. That's around $14 billion, with plans to renovate 10,000 community health centers and also to build or revitalize more than 400 regional hospitals. Indonesia also plans incentives for 1 million locally produced electric motorcycles, aimed at making them more affordable for consumers. Macquarie Capital says that program would be equivalent to about 15% of the 6.4 million motorbikes sold domestically last year. Right now, electric motorcycles account for only 1% of Indonesia's two-wheeler market. But allocating the money is one thing, delivering the program is another.
So I think the key will always be execution, right?
Yeah.
We've seen basically the policy execution remains to be one of the key watch points for investors, be it in healthcare and even other sectors. But overall, in terms of the priority of the budget, I think healthcare remains to be one of them. Consumption, meaning how to basically protect purchasing power, right? And also basically the commodity reforms.
And those are some of the issues being scrutinized in Parliament. The Prabowo administration has been defending its 2027 budget plans as lawmakers question the 6% growth target, spending quality, and fiscal sustainability. The focus now turns to delivery. Investment, revenue, and execution will determine whether Indonesia gets there. For CNA Explains, I'm Olivia Marzuki.